For many people around the globe, moving to the United States or Canada represents a dream of better future, financial stability, and personal freedom. However, for those who enter these countries without legal status or overstay their visas, reality is often far from what they imagined. Instead of finding opportunity, many undocumented immigrants face constant fear, extreme restriction, and a life filled with struggles. They cannot have access to regular jobs, they are unable to rent homes easily, they live in fear of deportation, and even their social lives are severely limited. While they hope for a better future, they instead find themselves trapped in a different and exhausting life. One of the biggest challenges undocumented immigrants face is securing employment. Without legal status, they cannot obtain the necessary work permits or social security numbers required for formal jobs. As a result, they are forced to take low-paying jobs, under-the-table jobs in the industries such as construction, restaurant, hotel, and agriculture. Many work long hours in unsafe conditions with no medical benefit, job security, or protection from exploitation. Employers often take advantage of their situation, paying them less than the minimum wage price or refusing to pay them at all. If they complain, they risk being reported to immigration authorities. The fear of losing their jobs or being deported forces many undocumented workers to remain silent even when they are mistreated. Beyond employment challenges, undocumented immigrants also struggle with basic social activities that others take for granted. Many places in the US and Canada, such as nightclubs, bars, and casinos, require two forms of government-issued ID for entry. Since undocumented immigrants cannot legally obtain driver's license or any passport, they are automatically excluded from these places. Even restaurants that serve alcohol often require ID cards for age verification, making it extremely difficult for undocumented individuals to socialize in public setting. This limitation is particularly frustrating for younger immigrants who watch their friends enjoy nightlife and entertainment while they remain isolated. The inability to participate in social events add to their sense of loneliness and exclusion, making their experience in the new country even more difficult. In addition to social restriction, undocumented immigrants live in constant fear of being caught by immigration authority. In both US and Canada, legal enforcement agencies conduct random ID checks, workplace raids, and even home visit to find and deport those living illegally. A simple traffic stop for a minor violation can lead to detention and deportation if the person cannot provide legal identification. Let me tell you, in 2023 alone, the US deported over 142,000 undocumented immigrants, while Canada removed 8,000 individuals without legal status. These numbers highlight the risk that undocumented immigrants face every single day. The fear of deportation keeps many of them from seeking medical help, reporting crimes, or even stepping outside until and unless absolute necessary. Housing is another major challenge for undocumented immigrants here. Many landlords require legal identification and proof of income to rent apartments, making it nearly impossible for those without status to secure decent housing. In many cases, landlords take advantage of their vulnerability by charging higher deposit or renting out low-quality, overcrowded housing. It is very common for multiple families to share small apartments just to afford the rent. Some undocumented individuals are forced to live in basements, garages, and even shortage units due to lack of options. These poor living conditions not only make life harder but also pose serious health issues, as overcrowding can lead to spread of diseases and other health problems. Financially, being undocumented comes with even more difficulties. Without a legal identity, they cannot open bank accounts, apply for credit card, or take out loans. Many are forced to carry large amount of cash, making them easy target of theft. Others rely on informal financial institutions, which charges the really high fees for simple transactions like sending money home. Without access to credit, undocumented immigrants cannot build a financial future, making it nearly impossible for them to buy homes, cars, or start businesses. The financial instability adds to their stress and makes long term survival in these countries even more challenging. For many undocumented immigrants, the life that they end up living in the US or Canada is nothing like what they have ever imagined. Instead of freedom and success, they experience isolation, fear, and exploitation. The idea of an American dream or a better life in Canada fades away as they struggle just to survive each day. Many of them work tirelessly with no job security, live in constant fear of deportation, and remain socially and financially restricted. The harsh reality forces many to question whether leaving their home country was the right decision or not. The numbers also tell a very painful story. In the US, there are an estimate 11 million undocumented immigrants, while Canada is believed to have between 2 lakh to 5 lakh people without legal status. A large percentage of them work in low-paying jobs and live in poor conditions, far from what they have dreamt of. On an average, undocumented workers in the US earn 42% lesser than the legal counterparts. With increasing immigration enforcement, deportation rates remain high, making life even more unstable for those without any status. Ultimately, life as an undocumented immigrant in the US and Canada is far from easy. The struggle they face daily, lack of job opportunity, social restriction, fear of deportation, living poorly, and financial hardships paints a picture of a life filled with stress and uncertainty. For those who are considering illegal migration, it is very important to understand that reality is often much harsher than you expect. The promise of a better life can quickly turn into a life of fear and frustration. In the end, legal immigration remains the safest and most secure way to achieve long-term stability and success in a new country.